Hi, I'm Carolyn at the Apparel Mentor, and today we're talking to Kristen. Kristen, do you want to introduce yourself and your brand?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen Horvath, and I am the owner of Playing Nine, which is a line of maternity golf and tennis apparel.
Awesome. So, what brought you to sign up for the Apparel Mentor?
So I came into business with my sister, who was the original founder of the brand, and had worked through your team to help design the original line. And I knew nothing about clothes, like about manufacturing clothes. And I wanted to come in and learn the business. And she found the apparel mentor, and I was just like, this is phenomenal. I can learn everything there is to know about making clothing over a summer. And it really was a great program. I have learned so much.
Awesome, cool. So, speaking of like things that you've learned, so what would you say the best thing that you've learned from the Apparel Mentor program was?
Best thing. That's a great question. There's been so many. um, I mean, for the most part, I have learned a lot about how to work with my factory. So I was already in production, and a lot of some of the questions and challenges I had were really because I'm a smaller brand at my factory, and Mindy gave me some excellent advice that's worked on, how to get through, how to make sure that I'm being prioritized. And I've used that advice, and just like having the right language to use when I'm talking about things. So I'm talking apples to apples with the team has, I think, gone a long ways towards me being successful at production.
Totally. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that once you have the terminology, it's kind of like a huge like click where you're like, oh yeah, now we know what we're both talking about.
Yep. Like yield. I had no idea what yield meant before. Now I have a pretty good chart on exactly how much fabric to order for what I need to make.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yield, fabric on roll, all that sort of stuff can get so confusing if you don't even know the key terms. So
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm glad that Mindy was able to help you with that.
it's been
Um,
great.
so what is the most surprising thing that you learned? Like what surprised you that you hadn't known?
Oh, well, I had no idea about all of the steps involved in like making a pattern to making a tech pack to making having something ready for the factory. So I think that to me was really surprising, because I kind of figured like there's got to be someone that just does all of this, right? And in reality, it's like people specialize in parts and pieces of each part of the process, because they are so specialized. And I think that to me was really eye-opening. It's just like how complex in a way it is to make a garment.
Yeah. And in learning like all the different people and steps, did the timeline surprise you then as well?
I mean, a little. I do a lot of my 9 to 5 job is in marketing and product development. So I have seen it on that side. Just I work more in food that way. And I mean, I've seen some really long timelines in that way. But I think I was expecting it to be a little scrappier, right? Like, okay, we can just like, this should take a week or 2 weeks. And in reality, everyone right now is so behind, right? There's so
Right.
much demand out there for everyone. Like, even if it is a quick project, it might take 2 months to do
Right.
just that one stage. So timelines, like, yeah. And I mean, I don't work on this full time. It is my night job too. So like I'm not driving things as much as I might otherwise too. So sometimes the slip up is me waiting to like send something when I can get time.
Totally, yeah. With especially if you're not the one like doing those product steps, like you're not the technical designers. We've talked to people who are doing part of it themselves.
Yeah.
You have to give correct feedback to your team who is doing that stuff. So yeah, I think that always surprises people. So I'm glad to hear that it was like, still a
I mean,
surprise.
I don't always love it, but I at least knew like, okay, this I get.
Cool. Awesome. So then I guess my last question is on the Apparel Mentor specifically is, would you recommend it to anyone?
Yes, I actually have. I let someone at work know about it recently, and they're going to have their daughter sign up that's like super into clothing. So uh,
Awesome.
I would say if you have any interest in maybe potentially starting a line. I know I've talked to a lot of people that have ideas, but don't know the next step. Like, how do you go from idea to reality? I thought this program was incredibly helpful to lay out, what does that look like? What are you getting in for? Like, do you want to do this? Do you not? I think it's a really good way to vet that out for yourself.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, for me, it was so helpful to do early in my process. I've since designed and launched a piece that, well, I worked with a pattern maker and with my factory, but I've done that. And I used the guides from the class through that entire process. So it was just helpful for me to, again, speak the language and know what was out there. So I think anyone looking to do that, it would be really, really helpful. Or if you work in clothes, but don't necessarily do all of the launch steps, I think this could be another great class. Like, let's say you're in finance for a clothing manufacturer or something. Like, it's a really good way to tangibly learn what's going on and what all the steps are.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I really like your point of, if you've got an idea and you want to know what you're getting into, because I sometimes joke that, it's a good way to learn all of the steps and figure out if it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not your 9 to 5. I think it gets, you really have to manage your expectations if it's not your 9 to 5. So.
Right. Yep. Where are you going to need help?
Well, thank you for that. And then my last question was, you got yourself onto the Today Show with your brand, and I was so excited to see it. And I just kind of want to know about your experience and how that, how that's worked out for you.
Yeah. It was pretty unbelievable. It all started, Dylan Dreyer, who's one of the hosts on the show, is pregnant and a huge golfer, and she was playing in a celebrity golf tournament. And the producer or the wardrobe consultant reached out on the website and just said, would you dress her? And I got it and was like, yes, let me know your size. I will send everything I have that's in your size. So I got to dress her first for the tournament. And then I let her know, if she's ever interested in a story, we'd be more than happy to do one. And they took us up on it. And it was very close during the pandemic. So we did it all virtual. So it was all via Zoom. But we got to talk with Dylan for like half an hour. It was amazing. She is just as cool in person as she appears on, or at least that was my experience. I think she was very, very personable, very nice, really, really good at her job. And it's been awesome for the brand. We've gotten so much recognition. I used it to get into a local news brief. I used it to get featured in the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal, and just try to get the word out even more. Because I think awareness when you're a small brand is so hard. And I mean, it's expensive to pay for advertising and different things. A huge PR hit like this was a really big deal for the company. And I'm hoping it helps take us to the next level.
Awesome. Yeah, I was so excited to see it. I was like, yes, like I think I messaged you right away on like Instagram.
You did, yeah. Like we posted it, which was great. I appreciate that. Feel free to link it to this.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say too on that, they did a great job just like editing, and it was almost like a free commercial, which was neat.
Right. Yeah. I had messaged it to one of our other mentors, Alyssa, and she was like, how do they do that? That's incredible. Because she had been approached by, I think, a European Vogue, and they were like, for a small spot, it was like $600. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I'm not going to be able to pay that. I'm a small startup. So that's so cool that it's, just free kind of advertising that they want to get, small businesses, and yours was there. I think it's so cool that they reached out to you at the start.
Right. I know. I mean, it was pretty exciting to just see, because I reach out whenever I see like a pregnant LPGA pro, right, or a tour pro that's having a baby. I usually try to reach out, and I never hear a thing, right, when I reach out. And this one was like, wow, this is Dylan Dreyer. And she got to play in the tournament. She got airtime on TV during wearing my clothes, which was also awesome.
Which just like blows your mind.
Yeah, I was watching the whole thing, and I was like, Dylan's on TV. I texted everybody, turn on the TV.
Right, you're like, there she is in my stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Best model too. I mean, she's cute, she's fit, she's like a great golfer.
Right. And she's just like not, and then you also saw she's also a great person. So it's awesome to
Right.
have her in your clothes, which
Yeah.
like isn't, necessary, but it's a bonus.
Right. Exactly.
Well, cool. So I'm gonna do a quick goodbye and then
Yeah.
you know. So thank you so much for talking with us today about the Apparel Mentor and your brand. And we're excited to see you. You're still in the alumni, so we get to see
Yeah.
you once a month. But is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No, well, I guess if anyone does have questions about the program, absolutely feel free to reach out. You can find me at Playing Nine, and I'd be more than happy to help answer any questions you have about my experience and what I've learned from the program.